Hey, it's Manly Parks. Welcome to another episode of the Brandywine Angler. Today, I'm going to do my initial impressions of the new spinning reel from Cadence, the Lux Model 1000. So this is the new Cadence Lux model. Cadence has had spinning reels out on the market for a couple of years now. They're based out of South Carolina. Their products are made overseas. And their hook, if you want to call it that, no pun intended, is that for every product you buy from them, they will make a donation of fishing equipment to youth programs to help kids get involved in fishing, which is a pretty cool idea. By the way, I'm not sponsored by Cadence. I have no affiliation with Cadence at all. So this represents my viewpoint. I haven't been sent a product and asked my opinion on it. I have simply gone out and acquired this product, arm's length transaction, using discounts available to anybody in the marketplace. And I'm giving you my honest opinion of the product, period. I initially, when I first saw their stuff, I tried a couple of their products. I've got a spinning rod from them. I've got 3 different reels from them, all spinning reels. I've been impressed with all of them. In fact, I just got my father, he needed a new spinning reel for his ultralight setup, and I just got him a Cadence spinning reel. I've had my reels for a couple of years. I won't say that I've used them every day because that's just not how I fish right now. And I also have plenty of tackle, so I'm rarely using one combination all the time. But they do get regular use, and in that regular use, they have definitely stood up to it. Again, I'm not abusing them, and I'm not using them daily, but I'm using them sufficiently regularly to get a feel for reliability. I've had no issues with any of the 3 reels that I have, and my dad's reel, which is brand new, has been treating him very well, apparently. Their new lineup, or their new products, include basically 3 products. The Lux model is the highest end of the 3, and so I thought I'd give that a try and see how it compared with the existing CS 4 through 10 lineup. Now, in terms of the specs, this Lux model is a 9+1 bearing reel. And in terms of line capacity, which is always important, it gives us 6-pound test mono, 110 yards, or 10-pound test braid, 115 yards. So that's your capacity on the 1000 size reel. You get an EVA cushioned handle that's pretty good and oversized. You get a frame with no flex in it really at all. So that's a nice feature. The Bale is fantastic. It does have very, very smooth action out of the box. You can't feel the gears at all. The auto reverse, it's instant auto reverse, and that looks great. Now, obviously, the test will be when we get it out there and get into some fish, but right out of the box, this strikes me as a pretty high quality reel. Feels very good in hand, and we'll just have to get it out on the water. So that's where we're headed next. I'm out on the local creek. I'm gonna put the new reel to the test, see how it performs. First blood on the new setup, or the new reel at least. Nice little rock bass, beautiful little fish. The reel is performing great. I've made about 40 casts. The Bale is flawless. The gears feel good. All so far so good. Victim number 2 is a little red breast. He didn't fight very much, but you know, the reel continues to perform well despite that none of these fish are testing the drag. So unfortunately, the worst case scenario happened. I broke off the one lure I brought with me. But as I was walking back to the car, divine providence struck, and lo and behold, I saw this fishing line, and attached to it was a bobber and like basically a brand new hook. It's not even rusty. You can't see it under there. And then I went looking for about 60 seconds and found this gigantically nice night crawler. So let's see if I can catch a fish on this before we leave. Well, I got 3 fish on that single night crawler, including 2 little green sunfish, which I didn't get video of. And I just got this nice little tiny smallmouth on that night crawler, which, hey, that beats going home, right? So I'll take it. Didn't test the reel very much, unfortunately. Evening is not yet over. There is a tiny little scrap of night crawler left. Let's see if I can pick up one more fish on this thing. Another smallmouth. Very, very small smallmouth, but still a smallmouth, and my scrap of night crawler still exists. All right, end the evening on this tiny green sunfish. Looks like my worm is pretty much all gone. The tiny scrap is still there, and it's been fun fiddling around with these tiny micros, but I think it's a good time to call it an evening. They're not testing the reel anymore, so you know, our purpose here is sort of accomplished. I did manage to get 4 species though, which is pretty amazing given you know, the fact that I was just here for a little while. All right, let me get this guy back and we'll recap back at the ranch. All right, let's talk about some of the specs of this reel. According to the manufacturer, notable features include 9+1 Japanese bearing system. I mentioned the 10 bearings earlier. Carbon fiber drag system. It's I think a 5-disc system. Carbon composite frame, which is very rigid. There's no flex in it that I can sense. 6.9 ounces. This is all the stats for the 1000 size that I have. Gear ratio is 5:2:1. 25 inches per turn retrieve. Max drag is 11 pounds. That's, I think, more than enough drag for a reel of this size and the types of line you're likely to use on it. Now the list price is $63.99, 64 bucks. It's on introductory discount at $49.99 right now for the 1000. Now the 2000's a couple dollars more, 3000's a couple dollars more on top of that. The prices are pretty tightly spaced though for the different size reels. Not much more expensive to get a 3000 or a 4000 than a 1000. There's currently, at least when I got my reel at the end of last week, a $5 Amazon coupon for this reel. And I got a 20% off coupon because I got an email a few weeks ago saying that this reel was coming out, and if I signed up ahead of time, I could get the coupon. So I got that. So in the end, my price was $34.98 or something like that for the reel. So those are the stats. All right, so we're back from the wilds of my local creek, and here are my initial impressions. The reel performed really, really well. The bale was crisp. The drag has a very satisfying click, which you hear and you can definitely feel when you turn it. The handle and the gearing is smooth. The auto reverse is instant. The heft it just weighs the right amount. I don't want a reel that's too light because I'm not a tournament fisherman who's fishing all day, every day, week after week. And I kind of grew up when reels were a little heavier, and a reel that feels overly light, it feels a little funny. To me, it doesn't counterbalance the rod well. I don't want a reel that's a brick either. And this is, you know, just the right weight. Again, under 7 ounces. And I think this is just a very good weight. It felt very good in my hand. I didn't really test the drag. As you saw, I only caught little fish with it. So I can't really say that anything about the drag. Although I had the drag set very loose for that first rock bass, and it actually did pull a tiny bit of drag. And the drag responded instantaneously and was very smooth. But that's hardly a fair test. We'll have to give it some more time on that. The knob on the handle is comfortable. It's large. I'm 6'4" almost and have decent sized hands. And sometimes ultralight reels can have knobs on the handle that are too small to be comfortable for me. This does not have that problem. Now, one thing I said during the introductory comments was that I wanted to see where this reel slots in against some of the other Cadence reels. And I haven't tried all of those reels, but I've tried the 5 and the 7. And I would say that this reel slots right in there somewhere between the 5 and the 7. If you're looking for features, price, and so forth. The 7's got an aluminum frame. It's really made, I think, for saltwater purposes. The 5 is a more basic freshwater reel. I think the 5 has 8 bearings. That's pretty much where the list price falls to, is kind of in between the CS5 and the CS7. All in all, I think it's a no-brainer at $34. I mean, you'll have a space in your tackle box, or in your lineup, I should say, for this reel. For those of us who don't have the resources or just don't see the sense in spending $250 on an ultralight spinning reel, look, it's going to be a great option. I don't know what the long-term prospects are. I've owned it a day, but if it's anything like the other Cadence products I have, they're holding up well so far over a little bit of time. I haven't had issues with them. And so I would say this is a definite green light. Go purchase if you're in the market for a spinning reel. This does a lot of things very well. It's very comfortable to fish with. First impressions. As always, I'm the Brandywine Angler, Manly Parks. Thanks for watching. We will catch you next time.